Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to That Proud Black Woman Show. Thank you for tuning in again today. I know it's been up and down. I've been doing Sundays and Saturdays. Usually it's every Saturday. But due to the availability of my guests these days, I have to make room. And, if it's Sunday, then I have to do Sunday. If it's Saturday. But I promise in the new year, everything's going to return to Saturday. So you are sure of the schedule. So who do I have here with me today? You guys, I know somebody I posted Charles last week, and somebody said, "Oh, thank God we are having a man." We, guys, it is not because I just want women on my show. It just happens to be that a lot of people that caught my eye at the time are women, and when I send out invites as well, women tend to respond faster. So okay, I'll try to mix it up. Going forward, a lot of men will be showing up on this show. All right, so, because I laughed so much when I saw that. So yeah, thank God we have a man. Next week we're going back to women again. So how are you doing, Charles?
I'm doing very well. The proud
Uh,
black woman.
I know, right?
Right.
So yeah, so how was your weekend? Not was. How is your
It's going
weekend
well.
going?
It's going well. I slept like a baby last night. So
Oh,
that's a good
lucky
way to
you.
start it. Yeah.
Lucky you. Myself too. I slept well, and guys, I know I had a surprise birthday for my husband, so we had so much fun, and yeah, I slept like a baby as well, and yeah, we're back to business. So, how my first question is going to come soon. However, I just wanted to know if people watching us today, where are you watching from? Leave a comment in the comment section. Let's know where you're watching us from. That's how we mark attendance on the show. So I'm from Toronto. Where are you watching? Where are you joining us from, Charles?
I'm joining from Calgary.
Calgary. All right.
Yes.
So you guys stay tuned. I will be back shortly. Much for staying tuned. And yeah, if you want to read a little bit more about Charles, if you go to the description, his bio is there. That's not the only like I just put a little bit of it because when I went through his bio, it was a whole lot of accomplishments. If I had to put it like in there, there will be no space for it. So
Right.
thank you so much again, Charles, for joining us today. And I'm just gonna go right into questions that I have for you. So my first question is, for so many years, you all the a lot of us have been, looking at your footsteps self as well to better ourselves. So your professional bio is quite impressive and is filled with so many accolades, if I might add. So how has been the journey for you so far?
Well, thank you very much, Kemi, for having me on your show. It's an honor. I always take advantage of, excuse me, any opportunity to share my story because you don't know who is listening, right? You don't know who is getting inspired. If one person gets inspired, then we have succeeded with this show, right?
Yes.
I came here late 2011, just like any other newcomer, very unsure of the future, not certain whether Canada would accept me, whether Canada would accept my color, my tone of voice, where I come from, my heritage, my experience. I had already become a lawyer before I came to Canada. And I came here because my family, most of my family members were already here in Calgary. So it was an easy decision to get here. I came and just like any other newcomer, I faced numerous challenges, too numerous to mention. So there's the challenge of losing your identity. All of a sudden, all of the relationship that you had built growing up were all, for the most part, redundant because you have to start all over again to build your professional network. I also faced the challenge of internal um, internal conflict. Is this the right decision, right? Is this decision, does it make any sense? How am I going to make sense of the decision? Would this place be okay for my story, for my journey? And then also face the challenge of surviving, right? Your family would allow you to hit your tent for like a month or two, but then they kick you out to go find a place to rent. So the question of survival was there, and survival in the context of not having the license to practice as a lawyer. So you needed to all of a sudden start exploring outside of law, be it survival jobs or applying for positions, reaching out to staffing agencies. I remember reaching out to almost 15 of them just to make sure that I could find something going. Then I also faced the challenge of understanding what the licensing journey for someone like me was, right? What kind of exams did I need to take? What kind of challenges do I need to face? And then I realized that there was a pathway for internationally trained lawyers. I had to monitor and be familiar with that pathway. So, and then also face the challenge of knowing for the first time that I was black. Back home, you don't feel your blackness, right? It's not a thing. You mingle and you go through life without really being conscious of your race and the color of your skin, and all of a sudden you walk into a room, you start feeling black, you start thinking black. That consciousness was always at the back of your mind. So that was also a challenge, being at home of that reality and making sure that that was not a burden on me in my interactions with people, in in my determining my goals and my future. Because sometimes when you think about your race, you start thinking that you're not going to achieve much, right? You think there's a ceiling in terms of how far you can go.
Exactly.
So how did I overcome all these challenges? First of all, I resolved internally that I would succeed, and I was convinced that I would succeed. Secondly, excuse me, I connected with mentors. People talk about that, but
Yeah.
if you're really intentional about it, it's beyond simply reaching out. It's way more than that. You have to be intentional about it. I connected with an organization that caters to internationally trained lawyers. I connected with lawyers from the community, and then from there, I moved on to their connections. I started volunteering at many places just to understand the cultural expectations as it's a newcomer in Canada. Then, from one connection to the other, I met with my former partner, Mr. Smith, and he took me on as a student. That was in 2013.
Okay.
Then in
So
2014,
sorry for me. I don't want to cut in, but I don't want
yeah,
you to give us all of that details yet, because
right, okay,
I still have questions about that, right? So we're
yes,
gonna dive like a lot more into that. But
hmm
something that struck me from what you were talking about was internal conflict.
yes,
That's like it paints that picture, and it kind of resonates with me and for so many other people that might be watching as well, because a lot of us can't put a name on it, but the way you said it captured it quite well. Internal
right,
conflict. Am I good
right,
enough? am i
right,
am i like that glass ceiling? It's always there, even though you have a little bit of confidence, but still down below in your mind you're still thinking about it, because as you said, for those of us that the reality dawned on us when we came overseas, we never lived that way. We never realized we're black, or
right,
like we never had that problem. For
hmm
people that grew up here, that's even much more problem for them, because they were
right,
born into it and it has always been part of them. They've always
yes,
been like that. So it is very difficult. So to channel that away from your mind and try to build yourself and try to be confident in yourself, that's a really huge deal. And
right,
that's why we're here today. Like a lot of
right.
people suffer with that. So in that sense, how were you able to build that confidence? Like how were you able to move past the
Good
conflict and
question.
self doubt?
Good question. I remember when I came here, and you know how you come, you land, and then you go to downtown to do your PR and do all of that. My sister-in-law took me to downtown, and we were driving past a particular street, and my sister-in-law showed me a law firm with the name boldly on top of it, and she said, Chibuike is my Igbo name. Or Chibuike, someday you're going to own a firm with your name on it.
She foresaw
I'll,
it.
I'm like, you are crazy. What the heck are you talking about? Well, I thank you. Well, I thank you for making me feel good for the moment. I completely disbelieved her. In fact, I didn't even
Hmm,
think about it, right? Because in my head, like I said, I'm a newcomer, and I couldn't think that high. Like I couldn't
hmm,
think that far. To me, that was already always a ceiling. That was always going to be a ceiling. So fast forward a few years later, I own a firm with 20 people, 12, 15 lawyers, and we just acquired a new commercial building that's like 4 or 5 times bigger. And in fact, I'm going to make sure that my name is right bold on that building.
Congratulations.
when
That's good.
when we move in, but in between the day she said that and today, a lot has happened.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot has happened to work on my confidence, to work on self belief, right? And again, back to what I was saying, meeting people, connecting with people that are already successful. The moment you nurture that relationship with people that are successful, the myth of of glass ceiling start to dwindle, start to shatter,
Hmm,
right? So I connected with my mentor. My mentor, Mr. Randall, had over 35 years of experience as a lawyer at the time. And all of a sudden, I was sitting across a lawyer with over 3 decades of experience who saw me as a lawyer.
hmm,
That was a pivotal moment for me. And that was when I was looking for articles back in 2013. I was hustling in warehouses, factories, and I connected with this guy, and he decided to meet with me. And all of a sudden, I was talking lawyer to lawyer. So I quickly realized that maybe that I have a chance. I have a shot at this. Then I met with my Mr. Smith, my former partner. He took me on. I was just focused on learning. And 2 years later, I became a partner with him. And shortly afterward, there was an opportunity to buy the firm. Again, I wanted to run away from that opportunity because I thought that was a selling. I thought, no, that was not for me. That was for someone else. That was for someone that was born and bred here, someone that
hmm.
has all these connections, someone that speaks, in a way that is a little more, more mainstream. I went back to my mentors, and they couldn't see the glass ceilings. They said, "Look,
Mhm.
Charles, you are a star. You can do it." And it took me a few months to begin to assimilate the advice. I began to listen to them, and I was like, you know what? Let's give this a shot. And I made an offer to Mr. Smith that he couldn't resist. And here I am today, running one of the fastest growing law firms in Calgary. Yeah.
Wow, that's so inspirational. And to think that at the time you made the offer, you had only started practicing in Canada for like 2 years.
Yeah,
Like,
2 years.
wasn't
Yeah.
that like a scary thought to think,
Tell me
yeah,
about it.
I can buy, I
I was,
can buy the
I,
law firm?
yeah, I was scared to death because nobody
Wow.
around me had done it. Right?
Yeah.
So that's the problem for newcomers. It's so hard to find people that have that have the same journey with you, doing big
Mhm.
things. So I couldn't connect to any young person. I was like, what, 27, 28. I couldn't connect to any young person that had the same journey with me, that had taken that risk. So it was so hard to relate. It was so hard to see the success of that venture. But again, in my saving grace was going back to these mentors, people that were like older than me, more successful, people that could see the future. So I took it on, and here I am. I guess now with my story, people coming after me could relate and
Exactly.
and would have the ability to say, no, if Charles can do it, I can do it, right?
Exactly. And which brings me to my next question, because, as immigrants and a lot of colored people are relocating to Canada or to the US or the UK, wherever they are relocating to as Black people, the same reality would dawn on them that, well, I'm now in this city, my color, my accent, everything would may work against me or maybe some kind of ceiling. So for so many people, they have no clue where to begin.
Right,
And for so many people, they've started, but then the spirit has been beaten down by rejections here and
right,
there.
right.
How were you able to, navigate this? And for example, you were talking about you went back to your mentors, and they told you can buy it. Did you ever think about what the person selling would say? Because at the end of the day, they want to leave a legacy as well. Even though they're selling it, they want somebody that will be able to thrive. So did you ever think about what would that person say, and how were you able to navigate that?
Good question. So for newcomers, be very careful the association you keep, right? The first 2 years of your stay in Canada is very pivotal, very critical. If you associate yourself with people that tried and did not succeed, they'll project their failure on you. It's just that simple. They'll tell you it's not possible. I heard so many things. In fact, I heard someone tell me, Charles, the judge will not understand you, you know. But guess what? I have my digital marketer was counting my awards the other day. We have about 25 national local awards in just in 2 3 years. That is the same person that heard from someone else that a judge will not understand them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So be very, very careful of the association you keep. Also, you have to have the mindset of paying the price, sowing the seeds for success. This place, there are no short corners. You're not going to succeed overnight. This is not like many other places where you be an overnight success. It doesn't happen that way. In as much as my journey or my success was a bit fast, but a lot of hard work was put behind the scenes, right? My first 2 3 years in practice, I was literally working 7 days a week. I was putting in 14-hour days every day. Easter Sunday, January 1st, New Year, Christmas, I was in the office. So Mr. Smith didn't understand how driven someone could be. So you talked about legacy. When he saw the drive, and he saw how ethical I am in my practice and my relationship with people, it became a natural conversation for him to discuss succession with me. Right? It was easy for him to decide to engage with me in buying the firm. So if you're given an opportunity as a newcomer, make sure that you are putting in your best. Don't fly the race card. When you're not putting in your best and you're not getting ahead, you blame everyone because of the color of your skin. People that look like us also succeeded for a reason. And make sure that integrity is the hallmark of your character. If Mr. Smith had any reason to doubt my integrity, if there's any reason to doubt my ethics, we wouldn't be having the conversation of buying his firm. He would be more comfortable having that conversation with someone else. And most importantly, know that uh, people really care about who can help them, regardless of how you sound. I know racism is there, the barriers are there. Sometimes the people on the table don't look like us, right? But you want to make sure that if you're given an opportunity, you go above and beyond to satisfy the desires and the interests of your clients or your customers. And I say that because that is one of the reasons why my firm is succeeding, regardless of the fact that I have everything in the books that would be a barrier to success, right? I wasn't born and raised here. I came here not long ago. And here ensuring that 15 lawyers in my firm have work every day, ensuring that we have accolades, we have recognitions, because I have told myself that basically people want someone that can take them from point A to point B. If a client comes around, are you able to help them get over or get through, what they're going through? They have the tendency to come back again and again because you are bringing excellence to the table. You're bringing competence to the table. You're bringing good work and good ethics to the table. Those are the things that will make you stand out. And over time, people will no longer care so much about what you sound like or what you look like or where you come from, because they know that this person is competent, this person can be trusted, this person can be trusted no matter. And that is the winning psychology.
That's fantastic. And you talked about integrity, which is really important because at the end of the day, there's so many people that could be doing eye service, as they call it in Nigeria, just so they can get they can buy the place over, and then after that, just relax and be like, well, I've arrived. But integrity is when you say something and you keep to it and you keep doing it diligently, and that's why you've been growing. Which takes me to the next question, because as we've established, Osuji and Smith is the real deal. And congratulations once again on the new commercial building that you're going to be moving in. I'm looking forward to seeing that, Osuji.
Yeah, it's going to be all over the place. I promise you
at the end of the day, believe it or not, you are the pride of so many of us, because when we see that name, Osuji, it already says it's a Nigerian name. I don't have to know who it is, but that success is not just for you alone. It's for every one of us, because we see a little part of ourselves in you, and we feel that accomplishment along with you as well. So that's really huge. So as a managing partner of such big establishment with employees from diverse backgrounds, because I see sometimes when I see you post new people coming on, I see that they're from different walks of life, they're from different races and all of that.
As intentional,
Yeah, exactly. So I was going to ask, is it intentional? And what's your DI culture, and how have people been receiving that in the community?
Absolutely. It is very, very intentional. Here I am, I could picture my interview with Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith at the time was what? In his late 70s. And I was in my late 20s. And someone born and bred in different world altogether, ages apart, in fact, decades apart. And here we were having a conversation about me joining him as an arc incident. And then 2 years later, we're talking about partnership. So, that was, I had an epiphany that if two people that on paper are different, completely different, could come together, ignoring what they look like or what they sound like, where they come from, and focusing on things that really matter, helping people, then the future is beautiful. So what I'm looking at doing, I continue to do, is to expand that relationship, to expand that psychology or that scenario, and have as many diverse people in the firm as possible. Right now, I have Spanish, French, South Korean, Chinese, Indian, Nigerian in the firm. People talk about diversity, but they just talk the talk.
They don't walk the walk.
They don't walk the walk, right? You see 20 people there, you see a black person, you see 15 people that's Asian, you see a placeholder. I want to show people in my little way that diversity actually works, that there is excellence in diversity, that people from different diverse backgrounds could actually come together and make magic happen. That is my mantra, that there is excellence in diversity. So that is what I'm looking to, the story I'm continuing to tell. They say, if you're not invited to the table, why don't you buy your own table? Why don't you have one and build one? And that's what I'm doing. And I want to let people know that you can actually give internationally trained professionals a shot. Give them a chance. Give people that look differently from you a chance. You just never know what they bring to the table. That is the story I'm telling. I'll continue to tell that story.
Which is magnificent, because as I said, this is what the show is about, showing people, because for so many people will read about you online and be like, maybe this person just got lucky. And that's why I reach out to a lot of people. Come tell your story. Let people see that this is doable. And for a lot of us, as I said, we see you as very successful. We see you as an achiever. We see all the accolades that you've been able to achieve. But success is relative for everybody. What people see success as is different. So for us, seeing you having all of that, we see it as a big success. To you as a person, what is success? Like, what does it mean?
Good question. Kim, if I answer that question, I want to talk about some people thinking I got lucky, right? You have no idea the number of stories I've heard. I've heard, the firm was given to me. In fact, I actually paid more for the firm than the rest of the offers that Mr. Smith received. But that aside, success to me is seeing how many people are able to get ahead because of my story or because of me. That is what success means to me right now. I could have easily remained in the current building where we're practicing from. It's a building that I own, but it can only take so many people. It can only take, I think right now we're about 20, and that we've reached our maximum capacity. I could easily remain there. I know so many lawyers that would just have one, maybe one article incident or one other lawyer or one assistant, and they're fine, right? I don't want to be that lawyer. I don't want to only give one or two people opportunities in a year. I want to give 10 people opportunities in a year. This past year alone, two of my students became lawyers. Last year, two became lawyers. The year before, maybe one. I want four people to become lawyers through my firm. I want 10 people to become lawyers through my firm. That to me is success. The fact that I have been able to take advantage of my story and my reputation and my business and my space to help people, either directly or indirectly, either inspire people coming to Canada. I get a lot of messages on LinkedIn by email. Charles, I heard your story, and guess what? I'm packing and leaving because now I know that Canada would give me a chance.
A chance.
And directly by having volunteers, I have at any given time I have volunteers for legal assistants, article students. If you go to the website, just young people looking to get ahead. When I came here, it was so hard to get through the door because I didn't know anyone. You know, the people that looked like me either had one small corner where they are practicing from, or they in a firm where they didn't have a say in terms of allowing people in. So it was so hard to get in. I couldn't volunteer anywhere because I didn't have any volunteer opportunities. I ended up working in warehouses, running around, sometimes night shifts, day shift. I was doing three jobs at a time. I was sleeping only 2, 3 times a week. But now, with what I'm building and with the fact that we're moving to a bigger space, we counted the number of offices in the big space, about 40 something offices in the big space. So there's
So
room.
there's like 20 more
Exactly.
opportunity for people to come in.
There's room
That's
for
great.
people to come, especially people that wouldn't otherwise have the ability to get to the door. You have no idea how important it is for someone, a newcomer, to come in and be able to walk into a law firm and volunteer 2, 3 times a week. Doing that alone breaks down a lot of barriers for them. They start feeling confident. They start feeling, okay, is this how law is practiced? Even if it's a week, even if it's 1 month. They don't see lawyers or law firms as this impenetrable industry. So that to me came in as success, giving people opportunities. And I'm going to keep my old building. I'm going to move out. That means I have
Oh,
another
nice.
26.
Wow.
So all of a sudden, I have like 40 more spaces for people that look like me. And at the end of the day, after a month, after 2 months, they're able to put on their resume that they worked for a law firm in Canada, Osuji Smith, and that opens doors for them if they move out and start exploring other opportunities. So that is what success is for me.
That's mind blowing, and the way you like perfectly analyze them. Like for so many people when they get that opportunity. I'm a lawyer as well, and I was not able to find even as simple as what's it called? Not even articling. I'm not even jumping to
Volunteer.
articling.
Yeah.
Volunteer. It
Yeah.
was
I
so difficult,
applied
and
so many
because
places. Yeah.
and for Toronto, it's very competitive, right? So when you're going to people, and I see that the country, so many people are here that they are born here, they did their schooling here. So why would they have to give you an opportunity? What if you mess them up? Because they're also sometimes very skeptical. They don't want to give you a try because they don't want to mess up their track record and all of that. So I didn't get any. Even where I was working, they had a legal department. I tried so hard to get in,
Mm-hmm.
as an employee, but I
Right.
couldn't. So imagine that. So I had to use my past experience from Nigeria to get a is it a waiver? I forgot what's the
Right. Right.
exemption
Right.
from
Exemption. Yeah.
articling, because I at that point I felt how many years I've been in this country for so many years, and I've been trying so hard to get my license. I'm done. So during the pandemic, I was like, you know what? I'm getting an exemption, but that was not how I wanted to go in. into the legal profession. I wanted to have experience. I wanted to have Canadian experience, see how they run their business, see how they relate so that I can have that experience. But out of lack of that, I just, I had to give up. So in your situation, you're giving people, other people like me, or people that may have the same situation as me, to move forward and to be able to, make a big impact,
Right.
like for you to make a big impact in their life. So thank you
Right.
so much, on behalf of all the immigrants and all the internationally trained lawyers. We're saying thank you for taking this initiative and making it a reality for so many other people.
Thank you.
So, still on the topic of success, you've been able to rise through the ranks, regardless of being Black, having an accent, being an immigrant, and all kinds of intersectionality.
Right.
Do you think that confidence was a key factor to your success?
Oh, absolutely. The first 6 months of my articles, I was a wreck. Yeah, for your audience, articles for lawyers is internship. I was a good student. I graduated top of my class. You know, the results were good. But when I came here, my goodness, I wasn't sure if that even mattered anymore. You know, when you talk to people and they keep asking you, pardon me, you start having issues. You start questioning a few things about yourself, right? So it's just a lot. At the very beginning, I couldn't get in. We're talking about volunteers. I applied to several volunteer organizations. They couldn't even acknowledge receipt of my application. And now some of these organizations are coming to me for sponsorship. How the world turns around, right? I couldn't get in for volunteer opportunities. That also dampened my confidence. And so for quite some time, confidence was an issue until I started talking to mentors, until I started meeting people that cared more about my success than I did. Someone like Mr. Smith saw in me what I couldn't see myself. He believed so much in me. Mr. Randall, my mentor, believed so much in me, and a few other people. And it's very, very important as a newcomer to have that kind of relationship, a relationship with people that are quite experienced, people that are successful in their field, people that understand your story, people that will vouch for you in your absence, and able to remind you what a star you are on a daily basis. So that helped me bolster my confidence. I remember 2 years into practice, Mr. Smith said, Charles, in a few years' time, you're gonna be one of the top lawyers in Calgary, something like that. I was like, get it right here, And here I am with recognition, top 25 in the country, top 40 in Calgary, and best lawyers recognition, and the Spot Rising Star, a bunch of other accolades. But I didn't get here overnight. It took reaching out to people that understood my journey and would vouch for me. People that my we call them my tribe of supporters. It took connecting with people like that and also meeting with people that are successful to gradually overcome the problem with confidence.
So that's fantastic, because for so many people, some people would say they got confidence naturally, and so
Right.
people will say they had to learn the skill. For me, I don't even know where I fall. Sometimes I feel like there's some things, I can't say it's confident. There's some things that came naturally, but the main confidence of like being able to stand in front of people and stand firm on what I believe. It took me a great deal of time to believe in myself enough to even to start this show, right? So a lot of times bringing people on the show is not just helping audience, it helps me as a
Right.
person, which,
Right.
like, it's when I'm done, I always go back and rewatch and then gain like more. i have my I have my book right
There you go.
where and I'm always writing down stuff, and
That's
I
good.
see if it could help me talk more of so many other people that can
Right.
just stumble on this video and watch it and learn from it. So that's really important. So the team of this, that's why I came up with the team. And it's that conversation about confidence, that
Right.
conversation about success, making
Right.
people know that success is not just a myth. that we
Right.
can actually achieve it regardless. We know, we are well aware of the fact that our skin color and racism and discrimination is very apparent, is very like
Yes, there.
in this country. However, how can we move forward from that? How
Right.
can we, make something of ourselves within our community without relying on handouts, without relying on, okay, the government has to give me a job. What can we do by ourselves?
Right.
How can we build that generational wealth and move forward from that? Which is why we are here, today. So now to my next question, which is in line with the theme of moving forward. What would be your advice, to Black people, to new immigrants, people of color that are out there in their minds? They've been, conditioned to think that thriving is a myth, or you just need to survive. Whatever you can do to survive. You don't have to just forget about thriving, or forget about following your dreams because yeah, it's a myth. What advice would you give to us? Because you've been able to navigate all of that and come out on top.
Absolutely. So, two things. Number one, be kind to yourself in your journey. Coming here, there's a lot of self doubt, there's a lot of internal conflict, as I put it. Be kind to yourself. Be aware that the struggle is going to come to pass and things will get better. This country does reward hard work, to be very honest. Number two, be ready to take risks. If I didn't take risks, I wouldn't be here today. To be very honest with you, I could easily have said no to the opportunity to buy the firm. I could have easily have said no to the opportunity of buying this building. This building is a lot of money, it's a lot of risk. But guess what? I have gotten so far because I have taken so many leaps of faith every step of the way. And you cannot take risks in vacuum. You cannot just all of a sudden start taking risks. You have to have people, what I call the tribal supporters, that'll be applauding you, people that watch you every time you're about to fall, to pick you up if you fall and prevent you from falling. You need to have solid individuals behind your back. For newcomers, it is tempting to stick to your kind, to stick to your tribe. When you come here, you want to hang around only people that sound like you, people that look like you. Nope. It's good to do that, but at the same time, reach out to other communities. Reach out to other communities. And how can you penetrate other communities? You do that by volunteering. When you volunteer, you're able to reach out and connect to people that don't look like you. That is how you get ahead. You understand them, and you become culturally sensitive. So being kind to yourself is very important. I'm sure the first year of everyone coming here, you always ask yourself whether you should fly back to Nigeria or wherever you're coming from, whether you made a good decision. Know that things will get better. That has been the story. Secondly, take risks. Take risks. Kemi, this was a risk that you took. This was not your natural space, having people come on your show. We had this conversation yesterday, but here you are succeeding. I've listened to some of the guests that you brought in. You shine through. You're very natural. Your questions are very apt, and you're not just talking about, you're not just blogging and all that about racism and success of newcomers. You're doing something. You're taking a risk. You're putting yourself out there. This is live interview. You're putting yourself out there. So risk taking is one thing that separates people. You cannot get ahead meaningfully without taking risks.
That's powerful. You cannot get ahead meaningfully without taking risks.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic way to end this show. You cannot get ahead meaningfully without. See, I always get one thing or the other. I think I'm going to have like a platform on my platform where I
Punchlines.
have words that my wise words of my guests. Because every week I tend to get something. So I think I'm going to have those quotations and I put their name on the bottom because you cannot get ahead meaningfully without taking risks. And that's a fantastic way to end. Now, before you go, I wanted to announce, I already did an announcement last week that I have merch now. But this week, on the 15th of December, I launched my website. And I have a merch there, which is hoodies that has like statements, positive affirmation that proud Black king, that proud Black queen. And in the light of diversity and inclusion as well, I have something called another clothing line called That Proud Ally. So it's for allies. So it's not just for Black people that, oh, I'm not Black, I can't purchase it. It also you wearing your support on your chest. I'm a
Mhm.
proud Black ally. Or for other people, there's so many causes that people follow as well. It could be for cancer. It could be for any. You could be an ally for anything. So I have the other one that doesn't say proud Black ally, that just says proud ally. That proud ally. So you can use it for any causes as well. And the website to go purchase is www.thatproudblackwoman.com. So I have a whole lot of ideas for the website as I go on because I am creating it by myself. So little by little, I will add so many platforms where people can have those quotations I was talking about. I would put it there. There would be like a group where people, like-minded people, can actually come, relate, talk, and share ideas and all of that. So going forward, and so thank you so much. That was my little announcement. If you go to the link in the description, you will see the link. You can click, just have a browse around, share it with your friends and your family. And one big part of it is all the collaboration, all the merch that will be sold on that website is done in collaboration with a Black-owned business. So for this one, there's a lady in Calgary, Alberta, which I collaborated with. Her name is Afikewa Design. So she's the one making and shipping all the products. So it's
I
not
know
like
her. I'm actually talking to
yeah.
her today. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So she's the one going to be producing and sending out all those merch. So this is the first part. As I go, I will be collaborating with more people. So it will be my name or my ideas on the brand, but it is them fulfilling it, which is improving their own businesses and making them to thrive even more. So when you're supporting, when you're buying, just know that you're not just buying, you're supporting a cause and you're supporting other small businesses as well. All right. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. I really appreciate it. And I see you, Wahid Miriam Oluwasheo. Every single day that I go live, she's always here supporting. I don't know
Oh,
you, but I appreciate you. And I think she's in Nigeria because when I say people should rep themselves, she's always saying Nigeria. Every time you're always here, I appreciate you. I see you. God bless you. All right. So that's bringing it to a wrap. I'm so sorry that we took a little bit more time than usual, but this was all golden nuggets that we just couldn't let that slide. We had to, get every time we could get from Charles today. So I appreciate you, Charles. Thank you so much. And that will be it for today.
yeah. I thank you for what you do. You thank everyone, but not yourself. Thank you for
Oh,
giving people like me a platform to share our stories.
thank you so
Yeah.
much. Bye.